it is your buddy. Peace and harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on a great topic, a great viewer question, and that is something that we can address at length here today, and that is aspects of the covert narcissist, particularly when you are in public. When you are supposed to go somewhere, you're supposed to be with somebody, and they really don't sort of show up. They're not really present for you. They're not really there. This is the stage that the covert narcissist will go through in order to get more attention from you. Remember that the covert narcissist oftentimes will not do anything wrong. There's nothing outwardly showy about them, outwardly extravagant, outwardly sort of on their cuff, on their ring, you know, that you can kind of, it's a telltale sign of a covert narcissist. But there's a sense that when you go out and about, that you don't really belong. You know, they don't really want to be with anybody. They just want to be somebody. And so there's this sort of isolation or isolatory feeling that you feel that there's something about them that is unhappy with you, unhappy where you want to go. They don't oftentimes want to be shown up or shown down or shown the door. They just want to feel settled in their ways. And so you try to kind of break them in, break them apart, break their shell. And there is, you know, so many times that you might feel that you're obliged to take care of them, do something for them, be something special to them. But there's a lack of what you're getting in return that becomes part of the problem with a covert narcissist. And oftentimes you won't really settle down with this type of person, or you'll settle down, but you'll feel like something is just off, awry. And so the covert narcissist, sort of the red flags is that you don't really sort of ever feel like you have a handle on them. You don't feel like you always have a handle on the relationship. There's kind of always something brewing or brooding about them, especially in public. They tend to act very sort of aloof, forlorn. There's not really anything about them that is out of line or a mishap, you know, or very ultra controlling. It's sort of a quiet rage that sort of pushes people and alienates them. And so really out in public, it can be really kind of a shame, because there's people who really do love their covert narcissist. They've been through thick and thin with them. They might have had a lot of battles, and you might have sort of come out ahead or come out together, or, you know, had a combined consensus or closure with them. But really the covert narcissist needs to know that they have done something wrong through their withholding. And oftentimes it's very difficult to address because they feel like they are somebody. They're who they're supposed to be. They're who they want to be. They can be retreative, aloof, self-indulgent with their time, their money, their cares. They can be very self-indulgent with how they care about themselves through a withholding, a lack thereof of attention, guidance, sort of a superseding or supposition, I think is what the word that I want to say, that supposes, you know, that we are together. So you feel this sort of, you know, disconnect. Once again, that there's something wrong when you're in public. And time will tell. The covert narcissists, as they get older, they might really want someone to be with. If they have pushed others away for much of their life, then they might want someone to be there. So they might open up to you a little bit more. You might get to know them better. You might feel like you can be friendly with them or more friends with them. In other words, that would be more descriptive of your relationship. You know, someone who you're not at odds with. But, you know, what I find oftentimes to the people who I have consulted and counseled is that they've been through with these people for years and years and years and decades and decades and decades, that they really have forgotten that there is something wrong. They've just become so numb and used to it that they don't really know how to step up for themselves. be declarative for themselves and what they need. They don't know how to speak up and bring out of the relationship. And even though it would feel so good, it almost hurts too much to ask for it anymore. Can you embrace me? Can you kiss me? Can you show me you love me? Can you come out from behind the veil? Come out from behind the curtain? Come out from that sort of very hands-off approach that is very typical, very typifying of the covert narcissist. You won't want to say that there's something wrong with you, because oftentimes it's very difficult to point the finger at them. It's more the lack thereof, the sort of forgetfulness in the relationship, where we kind of feel like there's a big gap. And this is very pervasive in the covert narcissist relationship. And you might tread, on thin water before you sort of come together and have things calm down. And then they really sort of meet you where you want them to, meet you where you are. But the lack of empathy, in other words, they really just don't care about others in a specific kind of way. They might do it in a sort of superficial way or a provisional way, where they can sort of be there like a figurehead, or, and it might make you a monster, though. You might feel that you're just, because you're craving a certain sort of attention from them, you don't know where else to get it. So you have to look within. You have to look within. With all the healing that comes with a narcissist relationship, is you have to look within yourself for the answers. But oftentimes parting ways with them is so very difficult, because you feel like you haven't really made your match. You haven't really sort of gotten in sync. So giving them the benefit of the doubt is advised. You are good to me. You're the best you can. And sometimes getting that feeling out will help you to make amends with a covert narcissist, especially in public, when it comes to having really sort of that out there we can do things relationship. Because they can be very kind of stubborn, very sort of, sly in their ways. In other words, sly, tricky, not really sort of, you don't really sort of know their whereabouts emotionally. You can't really get a